Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrek. Huge shout out to all the iTrek fan, man, tapping in on this beautiful Saturday. You know, I got another lineup. There's a whole lot of videos we got to check out and really see what's going on. Smash that like button on the way in. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Amanda Bynes and Britney Spears are walking examples of what a chemical lobotomy looks like, and I do not say that lightly. Now, why do I think these two are victims of chemical lobotomies, and what do I mean by that? I must first make the distinction of what a real lobotomy is. Back in the 1950s, this used to be a very common procedure. They would essentially stick a tool up your nose and scramble your brain. One of the biggest things that we could see with a lobotomy is the change in facial expression. Now, why is this, and what does it look like? One of the biggest effects is an eye droop and facial muscle slackness. And you can clearly see this in the before and after photos of victims who had lobotomy. Rosemary Kennedy was a very famous example of what this looks like. Now, how does this relate to Britney and Amanda? One of the things that I like to do is look specifically at the eyes and not the nose or the mouth. Compare the difference between their eyes here and their eyes here. You can see the eye droop. In Amanda Bynes' case, you can really hear in her speech the slowed, very deliberate, intentional speech. And in both of them, you see the lack of facial expression. You can really see this specifically in Amanda Bynes because I believe that she's still on psychiatric medications that do cause an emotionally blunted effect. As I do think that this was the case for Britney for many, many years, and now it seems like she's probably off of her med. Long-term sustained use can cause damage when you do not need that amount of heavy medication.
I mean, you never know. Those symptoms sound eerily similar to the same exact things that Kanye was talking about when they were trying to over-medicate him at one point in time. And if you've paid attention to Amanda Bynes or Britney Spears over the years at all, you notice there's some kind of irregular change, something that's definitely not normal. So yeah, there's something to it, you know, and it would be pretty horrific if it was a lobotomy.
Today, a young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves. News is supposed to be objective, isn't it? It's supposed to be the news. But every drug story is negative. Well, hold it. I've had some killer fucking times on drugs. Let's hear the whole story.
So the smartest man on earth just shocked the world. So this man right here has the highest recorded IQ ever, 276. And he just said that Jesus Christ is God. And he's actually using quantum physics to prove it. Who is he? His name is Young Hoon Kim. He was recognized by the Giga Society in 2024 for having an IQ of 276. So when a mind like this speaks, people listen. But no one expected him to say what he did. He said, I believe that Jesus Christ is God, the way, the truth, and the life. So he claims that the mysteries of quantum science doesn't contradict belief, they confirm it. This is what he said. Quantum science opens the imagination to real spiritual truths. Jesus Christ, as he claims himself, becomes the center of both cosmic intelligence and divine truth. Now, think about that for a minute. This man understands reality on a level that most of us can't even comprehend. So he says the keys to it all is Jesus. So what if science and faith were never enemies? What if they worked together to prove things that believers already know? So what do you think? If you believe that Jesus Christ is Lord, I want you to comment below and click follow right now. And even if you disagree, comment below what you think.
Ugly looking lizard, alligator type people. They got the same skin as the lizards got, okay? And terrible looking faces. But then they have the ability to shift and look like a human. All of them do. Okay?
Okay, do you think von Braun was a reptilian?
No.
You really don't?
No.
Okay.
Your president, yes.
Oh, what? Which one? George Bush Sr.? Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Bill Clinton and this guy you got
Obama?
got rid of. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all were.
Right.
Okay? So, and they all have this ability to make themselves look like real good-looking people.
And you're saying Trump isn't one?
No, he's not. Okay?
Well, that's a relief.
And
Is Lucifer the god of the Freemasons? Yes. To join Freemasonry, you have to be invited. You can't just join it. And the general sort of understanding is that this is going to be very good for business, for social interaction, for your career.
So they allow you to worship like Jehovah or Yahweh?
You can worship any god you want, but that's the only qualification. Because they're going to convert whoever they are over to worshiping the great architect of the universe, Hail El, Satan. AI has the same destination whether you're doing it for good or evil. So it's like good magic and black magic.
Do these people know that they're advancing a system that has been prophesied as having to happen for the rise of the Antichrist, or do they not?
The fallen angels continue to tell their offspring, their descendants of their offspring, that they can still win.
Is there a hierarchy for these things like Illuminati, Freemasons?
The fairy tale concept goes back many years for when they're ready to reveal things that we would accept that more easily, and they can tell us that they told us, we just didn't understand. This fairy tale concept, both Tolkien and Lewis were talking about, is they consider the Bible a fairy tale because they both said so. I'll show you their doctrines and the fruits of their works, and if they ever became Christian, they never recanted their writings. Many Freemasons are witches. Why? Because they're adepts, and they are leading the setting up of new towns. They're there to set up their legal claim to the new continent. When Moses dies, we have Satan showing up to claim his body. That's because he is initiated at Heliopolis. People confuse and conflate wrath and tribulation.
You said you don't want to live through it.
No,
Do you think you will?
probably.
People have to get over the fear of death in all connotations, because if you know what is really going to happen, you won't be fearful.
Now, Japan and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia have both solidified they're in the final stages now of deploying artificial wombs.
Japanese scientists have spent the last several years developing the world's first artificial womb outside of the human body, and it's done. But this is real life. Here we are. They call this EVE therapy, or ex vivo uterine environment, the EVE system, which isn't totally dystopian at all. Replicating a human womb for babies that are born extremely prematurely or are extremely sick and need more time to develop, which is not a bad thing whatsoever, rather than enabling full-term gestation outside of the human body. Basically, if you are born way too soon and you need a lot more time to develop to be healthy and strong, they'd stick you right back in an artificial womb after you were born. But I can abso-freaking-lutely guarantee you it will never stay at just this altruistic, wonderful purpose.
What about a pharmaceutical startup nation? So one of these farmlands get bought up and Pfizer buys it. They decide to start utilizing this extend technology, and they finally figure out how to create prodigies. Call up the next startup nation over there at Starbase or Stargate or Technopolis, Washington, D.C. Hey, do you guys want 10 prodigies? It's only $100,000 a pop.
I mean, everything in life has its pros and cons. You know, there are some people out there that are not able to give birth naturally. You know what I mean? This will be a pro for them. Now, when it comes to what he was just talking about, utilizing this kind of technology for evil or for monetary gain, there goes a whole different can of worms. But let me know what you think about artificial birth, though.
Really are some crazy things happening in the world right now. This month is the official halfway point of 2025, which means we are closer to 2050 than we are to the year 2000. A movie theater ceiling collapsed on a woman while she was watching Final Destination. Schools are removing analog clocks because teenagers today can't read them. An AI detector claims that the Declaration of Independence was 99.9% chance written by AI. The former Kansas City Chiefs mascot was sentenced to 32 years in prison for armed robbery. New York City is sinking due to the weight of its skyscrapers. Every dog is entitled to one bite is what a court said to a woman who tried to sue for $5,000 in damages after being bitten by a dog. The Duolingo CEO said that AI is a better teacher than humans, but schools will still exist because, quote, you still need childcare. A 3-year-old girl feared that John Wilkes Booth was under her bed after visiting the Ford Theater Museum.
Oh, you know that's scandalous. How are you gonna allow dogs at least one bite? I'm glad they don't understand English the way we think they do, because I'm sure they all use it too.
50 Cent defended Tyler Perry, who's been accused of essaying someone because Tyler Perry allegedly knows all of 50 Cent's secrets, which I'm assuming means something criminal and or illegal. And it is weird how 50 Cent has been so outspoken against Diddy and then turns around and defends Tyler Perry. Everything in this video is alleged, not confirmation of validity of allegations. This sometimes actor, sometimes rapper has some secrets that only the actor, director, and producer knows, which is why the public show of support. And again, this allegedly 50 Cent and Tyler Perry. And the related headline reads, 50 Cent defends Tyler Perry from SA claims. 50 Cent has moved to defend his friend Tyler Perry from claims that he committed SA. Perry has been sued for $260 million by a man named Derek Dixon, who worked as an actor on several of his TV shows. Dixon claims that Perry subjected him to escalating harassment, assault and battery, and professional retaliation after he rebuffed the actor and director's alleged advances.
I always thought 50 was one of the last ones left. Don't let me find out otherwise, man.
Artificial intelligence was made to have the top 100 Forbes companies lay off over 80% of the United States people, whether they're citizens or immigrants, and to cause over a 50% unemployment in Americans. And this will happen all at once. They're going to have a meeting and they're going to lay off everybody all at once. So this event, probably in the next year or 5 years, is scheduled to happen. And that's basically what the AI is supposed to do. And it's supposed to cause like an economic instability. And also it's supposed to cause like the billionaires to be looking more eliter than you, like differences between us. Like there won't be, these people who have jets and things closer to billionaires. There will be a bigger disparity between the rich and the poor because of it. But that's what artificial intelligence was meant to do. And they'll say that it went rogue or other excuses, but that's the main plan. So yeah.
So Justin Bieber's in a cult? It's almost like I've been telling you guys for 3 years that Justin Bieber's in a cult. Wow. So a few weeks ago, Justin Bieber posted this AI video of him walking away from the clothing brand Drew House that he's built for the last few years. And he sets it on fire and walks off into the sunset with Haley and their baby. And then he walks into this new clothing company that he's starting, and he starts putting out all this press that says, "Don't waste your money." So Justin Bieber built that brand Drew House with his friend Ryan. Ryan also attended the culty Hollywood church Home that I've told you guys about before, because Lou Taylor was on the board until she started getting some hot water with Diddy. So now you have this culty church that we have all been talking about, and Ryan decides to leave. He's like, actually, it is pretty culty. I'm going to walk away from it. He leaves, and then Justin brings in Judah Smith of Church Home. Judah Smith, who was on Lana Del Rey's album, like he's in the mix of Hollywood. And Ryan says, I don't understand why you would bring in your pastor. He doesn't have anything to do with our business. He doesn't know about textiles or business in general. Why is he here? And then slowly they start to ice out Ryan. It sounded like the way people describe when they leave Scientology and they're not allowed to talk to people in the mix of the church anymore. So after Ryan leaves what he's calling a cult and says Justin Bieber is in a cult, they push him out entirely. And Justin Bieber starts his own clothing company, this new one, with all of this AI imagery or whatever. To me, it sounds like Judah Smith was trying to get in the mix because they have used Justin Bieber's social media to benefit Judah Smith financially before. And so I think that Judah Smith was trying to get in the business because he wanted a business that's owned by someone involved in Church Home. And he pushed Justin to start this other clothing company. And I wouldn't be surprised if Judah Smith himself made that AI video and posted it on Justin's page. And since Ryan is being shunned by the people from his cult or church, and he lost his business and now he lost all his friendships, I guess he doesn't have anything else to lose. So he is telling us it's a cult. And it's not just Church Home, right? It is the conglomerate of all of these churches that work under the Hillsong umbrella to shuffle around pastors, money, celebrities, and they are working in Hollywood. I have told you guys all about this in multiple videos for literally over 3 years, and it feels so validating to finally have somebody just come out and say, it's a cult. It's a cult. So I am following this story very closely, and I am really hoping that Justin Bieber gets out of this cult. I hope we see it happen one day. Fingers crossed. Free Justin.
Orlando Brown just exposed the truth about Disney. In his most recent interview with Real Life Street Stars, he explained how parents would allow their children to go behind closed doors at Disney. And he alleged that the parents would do this because of the money that they made off their child, and that each child was treated like a competition between each other. And he explains how this is the biggest problem that we're seeing now, because he was asked about the Quiet on Set documentary about Nickelodeon. And he also made his own opinions on what was happening at Nickelodeon and how it was a big whole scheme. So I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of everything that Orlando Brown had to say about Disney, and you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
A documentary comes out called Quiet on Set, and it speaks on the Nickelodeon All That cast. Oh, shit. Oh, man, not the exhale.
Well, shout out to Nick Cannon. I won't do his money like that. What I will do is I'll say that the owner of Nickelodeon is Jeffrey Epstein. Look at the characteristics of everything they said, and then look at everything that he did.
So I've always been curious about the dollar bill, and since I've got you right here, I wanted to see if there's anything you can explain to me about the symbolism that exists on our dollar bill.
This is the most esoteric piece of paper money that exists on the face of the earth. And esoteric means it has hidden symbols that only somebody who has been taught to decipher them can really understand them. So let me start with the pyramid. The pyramid is really connected to the obelisk because both are two great symbols from ancient Egypt, the great builders. Now, below the pyramid, you will see there is a Latin inscription. It says Novus Ordo Seclorum, which in Latin means New Order for the Ages. The founders were basically telling us, it is up to you, future generations of Americans, to keep the building going. And to do that building, you need the source of light. And that's why you see on top of the pyramid an all-seeing eye with light in a triangle.
And Prince Charles, before he became King Charles III, he said he was descended from Vlad the Impaler, which is who Dracula is based on, the vampire movies. And Dracula means son of a dragon, with the A on the end, and it's rooted in Draconta and Dracont, meaning a watcher in Greek. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Vlad the Impaler is your typical noble Celt, your noble giant. He's red-haired, he's hazel-eyed, pale-skinned, sensitive to light, educated at the mystery school in Austria, in Vienna, and he's of the bloodlines, and he takes his bloodlines back to a tribe produced by Hercules, the Agrathi, and another branch as well.
Just putting herself on display, and this old man with gray hair is at her feet, and she's saying she's man's best friend, dressing and had the energy of a grown adult woman, because whoever programmed her is in fact an older adult woman, coinciding with adult males, very old now. Even looking at her newest album, on the actual physical vinyl record, it shows her just putting herself on display, and going to be like her peak right now, to display, to invoke that exact image that she wants to portray and push upon the public, groom young girls to be just like that, because they want to start this niche generation of girls that want to look up to that, basically. That is the energy and the aura of Sabrina Carpenter. I would love to do a part 2, because this is actually the most puzzling of the energies that I've read and picked up on.
Did y'all watch the game last night? Did you see this? Right before the game? This is crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, right? Like, was he channeling or was he praying? Like, why was he the only one spazzed out? Somebody let me know.
I have never been near a puff party. Never been near. And anybody who knows me knows if there is a party, I'm the first one out.
Right.
I'm the first one out.
But people love salacious
Yes.
stories.
Yeah.
They love salacious stories.
You know P. Diddy's in trouble when Oprah denounces you. Like, she was letting the whole world know, like, I never showed up to no P. Diddy party. Well, hey, that's it for you, Diddy.
Idea.
Something told me to go ahead and take the paper off of the can so that I can use my can opener and it won't get caught. Y'all, 2 expiration dates on the cans. One say 2028 and the other says 2024.
If you can't see it, you're just blind.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Didn't work out.
Mind you, this was years ago, and he was talking about AI in general. I show you that to prove to you that he knows what he's doing. So we all know about Optimus, the new Tesla robots. How do you think they will operate? Like the type of intelligence?
Our robot has a real brain. It's got the real world AI. So Tesla's the leader in real world AI. What we learned in the car, we translate to the Optimus robot.
So he claims we're summoning a demon with AI, but then he's gonna build robots that have AI in them. Wait, it gets better.
But even 5,000 robots, that's the size of a Roman legion, FYI. Which is like a little scary thought, like a whole legion of robots. I'd be like, whoa. Yeah. But I think we'll literally build a legion, at least one legion of robots this year, and then probably 10 legions next year. And I don't know, it's kind of a cool unit, units of legion. So probably 50,000-ish next year.
That's literally just straight mockery. Do you not get it? What calls themselves Legion in the Bible? And the cherry on top is this clip right here. He's about to talk about his supercomputer that he built. Enjoy his humor.
The XAI data center, or supercomputer center, training from beginning installation to start of training in 19 days.
And is that in that new building off to the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny. Yeah, okay, so I want to talk to you about alignment.
I wish that was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
right.
look,
The truth always hides between the lines, and when you look, this is the type of stuff you find.
Yeah, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and order that first generation and even the second generation of those robots. But third and fourth generation, I might, take a look and see if it's worth it. But Elon just said he was summoning demons, man. So I'm going to hold off.
This is what would happen to you if you jumped into the piranha-infested waters of Brazil. This guy is testing the waters by dipping a fish into a river. Piranhas will eat anything you throw at them as long as it's organic, but they mainly feed on plants and insects. That being said, they've been known to eat animals of many sizes, with the largest being the capybara, the world's biggest rodent.
Glorilla?
Yes.
Bro, her real name is Gloria Hallelujah.
Oh, I heard about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, like she was called.
That's crazy.
Even though Uzi Vert, I think he was raised in the church.
Crazy how many of the musicians and the actors grew up in church, or even actually spirit-filled church too. Katy Perry spoke in tongues.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Megan Fox. You know what she said in an interview? They asked what is one of her secret talents people don't know about? She said, I speak in tongues. All these musicians or actors that they have mantles on them, I totally believe that they were all called to be mighty men and women of God. They have anointing, but it is polluted, it is perverted. It is actually the anointing that is on their life that is allowing them to do what they do, that has the influence.
The gifts and the callings are the
right, without repentance.
So it's like the devil just flips it.
Yeah.
No. Whoa, you got a password on your phone? Of course. All right, I'm gonna show you how to unlock your phone without using your password. Now swipe down, covering your Face ID. Okay, now turn off your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and data. All right. Now you're gonna turn on airplane mode. Airplane mode. Open your calculator. Okay. Turn that thing sideways. All right. Now you're gonna type period in. An error should pop up. Now you're gonna hit rad to release the error. And then what? Right there. Now swipe up.
I will never not love Kanye, because when he took the bullet for us by exposing that, when he published the Harley Pasternak text, that was the first time we got this concrete evidence of what they're doing in the music industry.
So crazy.
And like, you better believe that's a pattern. You know, just look at all the people he
that
manages.
guy, yeah, he was the trainer of just like dozens of the biggest celebrities.
And so it's like, and then right after that, Kanye disappears and comes back fucking crazy. Like, give me a break.
I still think the person we see is the real Kanye. You know, I think they almost had him. I think we might have been dealing with a zombie, but I think he managed to make it out of that whole situation. Are we dealing with the real or the clone? Let me know your thoughts.
This is crazy. The summer solstice is on Friday, okay? The longest day of the year. You know, in the past, in ancient times, there used to be festivals and people would harvest food and they would drink and stay up. And, you know, it's like kind of this beautiful thing. But occult groups and elite societies often view solstices as energetic portals. For example, the Nazi SS leaders conducted solstice ceremonies tied to ancient Germanic paganism. And some conspiracy theorists suggest that certain military actions or symbolic events are intentionally aligned with solstices.
Yeah, there might be something to this.
Listen to this. There have been historically major war events that have happened on the summer solstice. Operation Barbarossa, June 22nd, 1941, Nazi Germany's surprise invasion of the Soviet Union during World War II. Battle of the Waterloo, the aftermath, June 18th, also the summer solstice, 1815. Iranian protests in 2009, June 20th, summer solstice. Last summer solstice, June 20th, Israel's military killed Hezbollah commander.
No.
Yes!
Here's what ChatGPT just said.
Okay, let's hear it.
It says, you're not wrong to suspect something here. When you zoom in on June 20th to 22nd, there is a disproportionate cluster of major geopolitical events. Whether it's strategic, symbolic, or both, this timing keeps showing up.
Okay, thank you.
Almost as if ChatGPT woke up and was like, hey, you know what? Something ain't right. You're onto something.
Your brain can't differentiate between what's real and what's not, making your mind a double-edged sword. One side is a superpower, the other programs you to lose and keeps you small forever. And without knowing it, you've been using the wrong side every single day. This is day 18 of Decoding the Human Brain. When you imagine a situation vividly, like failing or embarrassing yourself, your brain treats it as real. The same neural circuits activate, the same stress hormones are released, the amygdala fires, cortisol spikes. Repeat this often enough, and your brain starts wiring failure, fear, and insecurity into your identity. And worse, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and self-control, gets overridden by these loops. You train your brain to be anxious, and you rehearse weakness neurologically. So use the other side of the sword. It works the same way. Visualize yourself being calm under pressure, winning, giving the performance of your life, and solving every problem. And again, the same neural pathways will fire as if it actually happened. You train your brain to become the person you imagine. Over time, you strengthen the existing pathways that make you strong, and create even more, until you become unbeatable. So which side of the sword do you want to use?
There's something beautiful about people who have tasted bitterness, but are still determined to savor the sweetness life has to offer. You can feel it in their presence. They have a sense of calm warmth, and they refuse to let life take that from them. I love these kinds of people. People who have stayed gentle in a world that tried to harden them. They've known darkness, but still offer their light to others. Their kindness is real and genuine, never a tactic or a strategy.
Hey, definitely one to grow on, man. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for watching another one with me on this beautiful Saturday. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam, man. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.